with mental illness, it's just a walk. You're just
It
journeying.
really is.
It is a cross, and your cross to Calvary is long.
It's the frustration on the person watching to walk with that person, especially if it's someone close to you, someone you love. It is a long, long journey.
God does not want you to have an out. He wants you to become a saint.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. So this is another video that we're recording here at the Catholic Creator Conference. And this time I have with me Halley. And it's been really, really wonderful to meet everybody and meet you after a long time of seeing you online. And we wanted to get together and chat about something that's really special and clear, near and dear to your heart, and very, very sensitive topic as well. So we wanted to talk a little bit about mental illness.
Yes.
And, those people who know a little bit about what I do a lot of philosophy, theology, and stuff online, but a lot of my academic background is in the history and conceptual history and development of depression from a philosophical perspective. So I'm not a clinician. I'm not going to treat anything like that. I'm not a therapist. But, with that and with the spiritual and theological background as well, it's something we're talking about.
Yeah.
So tell me what you wanted to talk about.
Well, I was listening to you and Philosophy for All talk the other day, and I found your holistic approach to mental health fascinating, and it completely related to my experiences with mental health, personally and with family and friends.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit and talk
Absolutely.
about your experience, your knowledge and your experiences, and just I thought collaborating on a conversation about this would be beneficial to us and to other people, and really help get that conversation going. I found your just discussion of your thesis fascinating.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll link the video for that. But so we were talking earlier that there's somebody who is close to you, somebody who you know, who is going through something really difficult right now.
Yeah.
And that obviously pressing on your mind.
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of give a little elevator speech about that, and then we'll just kind of launch from there?
Okay. So I have a very close person to me who has been struggling with a mental health crisis for over a year, and it's impacted decisions in my own life, and it's impacted my family, and it's been very dramatic. This person went from very healthy, normal functioning in society to almost unable to communicate over 2 months. And
You're not joking about this. The way you were describing it earlier is pretty severe.
No, they're four-word sentences are a symptom. He lost over 40 pounds in 2 months. It impacted how he interacts with people. So it's was very traumatizing when we first started trying to experience this and trying to figure out what was going on. There were lots of fears on my end and my family and friends that are involved on everyone's end. It was very shocking to walk through that with him. And one of the scarier parts was the lack of realization on his part of anything wrong or bad happening. To him, business was normal. Everything was normal. But everyone around him recognized that there was something very, very wrong.
Yeah. So the way you were telling me, just to jog my memory as well, was, from what I remember as far as symptoms go, not very lucid.
Nope.
As you were saying, hard to string a four-word sentence together. You mentioned about a year ago maybe of hearing of a schizoaffective something or other diagnosis, maybe not. So this kind of floating around. It's been happening for about a year. It's become more severe. And yeah, just seeing somebody that deteriorate like that, especially in such a short time,
Yeah.
can be really shocking.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, anything you want to add to that?
Um, no, it was like, it was hard for all of us to hear the diagnosis,
Mm,
but we have since kind of come to terms with it,
yeah.
and he has not, and that's made it even harder.
Yeah.
And because of that, just listening to your thesis, like hearing about like the tie-in with the science, the
hmm
spiritual aspects, all of it, I was just fascinated by
Yeah.
your theories, and I wanted to talk more about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So especially with schizoaffective, if that is what it is,
Yeah.
because that's really hard to diagnose
Yeah.
as far as I know. It's difficult because you have somebody who's really combative and reluctant, resistant to
Yeah.
treatment
Mm-hmm.
already, and just in general, people are really reluctant to treatment. You'd mentioned also you had heard that he maybe got into conspiratorial type
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
and so that's not helpful either.
No.
Have that real suspicion of
Mm-hmm.
in general, and then suspicion in particular of doctors,
Yeah.
which is understandable now coming out of the pandemic. People
Yeah.
are more suspicious of doctors in the medical industry. So yeah, but you're convinced that it's psychological, of course,
Yes.
because you've seen it, and you're convinced that tied to that, of course, it's mental health, it's medical even.
Yeah.
But there are also some spiritual components here
Yes.
as well, and
Yeah.
maybe even intellectual, cognitive, like
Yeah.
characterological stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all really
there
tied together.
yeah, there are definitely layers.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that there's definitely a spiritual layer. I don't know how deep that goes.
Yeah.
There is a physical layer. I don't know if it's like because he refuses to seek more medical care. We can't find out how deep that medical layer goes either. So
Yep.
there's just it's mostly unknown.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of trust in Jesus for everything, basically.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, man. It can be really, really hard. Especially if you have limited information.
Yeah.
Of and then you have somebody who's really reluctant. So yeah, and then with the spiritual stuff, it's really difficult because it's not as empirical. It's not empirically testable like
Yeah.
with your five senses. It's just like, I mean, I'm in no way qualified, of course,
Yeah.
as a priest or anything, or certainly not as an exorcist or something like that,
Yeah.
to even speculate upon that. And anything I would say would be speculation.
Yeah.
I have my own kind of druthers and theories and so
Yeah.
on. Like maybe I think it's this, maybe I think it's that. But again, without that expertise, I could only just guess.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you can notice, whether it be spiritual attacks. I think that you
Yeah.
can start to get a feel, or maybe let's say a suspicion
Yeah.
might be that. It's good to be cautious about definitively saying, oh,
Yeah.
so and so is demon possessed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like nobody
Yeah.
wants to jump to
We
those
should-
conclusions. Yeah.
The Jimmy Aiken, it's always demons.
Yeah.
Theory is not. But no.
Yeah. But it's also important, like when it comes to psychological things and psychiatric things,
Yeah.
they approach it in a really similar way because it's you don't just jump to conclusions. Like you might say, well, these are the symptoms we see, and based on the severity, we're going to call it this, or based
Yeah.
on this mixture of symptoms, we're going to call it this. And they're playing again because again, in psychology, you're not, at least maybe most disorders, you don't have like a blood test that you just
No.
test somebody and okay, you've got I don't know, borderline personality disorder. It doesn't work
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if it did, but like
Yeah.
you can tell if somebody's got like the flu by a test,
Yeah.
but you can't do that with these. So it's a real art to it and a science to it.
Yeah.
And then also, as we were talking earlier, doctors, even in medicine, like I was in the ER and hospital, admitted 2 nights overnights for an ear infection, and I was reminded again, even in medicine, they don't really care about like the cause and effect like
Yeah.
what caused it. So all they wanted to do is treat my symptoms, of course, and relieve my pain, which was nice, but they didn't care whether the ear infection was brought on by swimming or so on and so on. So all that to say that many times we, as with the people we love, the people we see, it's like we want those answers and we may not get them. Like
Yeah.
what caused this? And
Yeah.
doctors and psychologists and therapists, they're only, unfortunately, maybe only going to treat those symptoms
Yeah.
or the underlying kind of frame of it and stuff. And And we may want these deeper answers
Yeah.
because we're humans. We're curious. We
Yeah.
want to know, like, well, how did so-and-so get this way? The
Yeah.
doctors can't even tell you that. They're
Yeah.
not interested in telling you. That's not their job,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, thoughts there. I've said a lot. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, I agree with that as far as the medical, like medical doctors go. And I know even if they were to say, well, it's probably stress or it's probably like emotional trauma from their childhood.
Yeah.
There could be layers of that.
Of course.
But I think it's just a compounding effect. Like I think it's
Yes.
all layers. Like
Yep.
there's layers. It's like a cake. There's, childhood trauma, sure. There's medical stuff, sure. But there's also the spiritual aspect.
Yep.
And there are physical things that could be involved. Like I think it's and which is why I loved your thesis so much,
Yeah.
because you were saying it's probably a lot of all
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. It's important to keep those in mind. Because a lot of people, they look for what's simple and easy.
Yeah.
So say my stuff on depression, I noticed the real, it's an alluring
Mm-hmm.
and tempting path to take, to be like, if I just took my medicine, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
It's like, you're only
Yeah.
treating one part of it. You're only
Yeah.
masking symptoms.
Yeah.
Like you need to get out there and exercise.
Yeah.
You need to eat well. You need to form good social relationships. Like
Yeah.
all these things are tied together. And then the spiritual aspect as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to ignore those other aspects is just, it's not doing yourself any good, and it's not fitting the full form of the truth of what's happening
Yes.
with you. And if you're not addressing all of that, you're just fitting one piece of the puzzle instead.
And I agree. Even
Yeah.
with the spiritual aspect, you could sit and pray in your bed all day. Like you could pray all day. If you're not getting out and moving
Yeah.
around and doing things, you're only doing
Yeah.
only one aspect. That like we are a body soul composite. So
Yep.
we have to do all of it.
Yeah.
Like we're not just praying and we're not just doing things. We have to
Absolutely.
do both.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of that, yeah, it's important to know, like, okay, well, where do I get those things? So, like,
Yeah.
for better or worse, maybe fortunately or unfortunately,
Yeah.
we've got a compartmentalized world to where, like, if you want the medical, you go to a doctor. If
Yes.
you want the spiritual, you go to a priest. You're
Yeah.
not somebody who just does it all,
Yeah.
for better or worse.
Although there have been priests that have been doctors, which
That's
is pretty
true.
awesome.
That's true. And that's helpful sometimes, like, you get the 2-for-1 deal. It's nice, but it's
not
rare.
very common.
It's very rare these
Yeah.
days. So it's important to know, like, you might be like, well, that's overwhelming. I just wanted a one-stop shop. I'm used to
Yeah.
that, going to Walmart and stuff. Like, just
Yeah.
get everything. But,
Wait, yeah.
But when you're doing this and you're taking it seriously and you're taking your health seriously, your
Yeah.
mental health seriously, it's important to know that, like, just stopping off at the pharmacy and getting your
Yeah.
pills, like, you're not done.
No.
There's a lot more to
You
do.
have to
And what's
put
hard
work.
about that is, especially with depression and in schizoaffective, and I know in bipolar, where people are either really reluctant, resistant
Yeah.
to treatment, or they forget, like ADHD, depression, you
Yeah.
forget, or
Yeah.
you're just kind of can't get out of bed or whatever. Saying, hey, you got to do more than one thing, like, is really frustrating, because
Yeah.
they're like, dang it, it was hard enough for me to just do one thing.
Yeah. That's true. That is fair. Yeah. That's
So thoughts on that, and then so we talked a little bit about, we can talk more about this, about the person themselves getting the treatment, but what about also the people who are on the other side of this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and there's a real nice important themes here that we can explore on suffering as well, and suffering
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
Well, so because there's a lot of unknown, there's a lot of trust, and a lot of one of my favorite books is Trustful Surrender to Divine Providence. So there's a lot of
who's that by?
oh my gosh.
I'll find it. Send it to me and I'll put it
Yeah,
in
it is
the description.
amazing. Like everyone should read that as
Cool.
part of like Bible, Imitation of Christ, Trustful Surrender to Divine Providence. Those are the trifecta of spiritual growth
Nice.
books, in my opinion. So yeah, just relying on Jesus a lot in this walk, and knowing that it's not like with mental health, a lot of times it's not like you're even a cancer diagnosis, which is
Yeah.
awful, but there's an end to that. Like, you're going to go get the treatments and hopefully get better and then not have to go through that. With mental illness, it's just a walk. You're just
It really
journeying.
is.
It is a cross, and your cross to Calvary is long. And
Yeah.
like it might
Yeah.
be 2 years, it might be 30 years.
Yeah.
And you don't know. So
Yeah.
just walking that walk and trying to do it with grace and still growing in your own virtues and loving that person to the best of your ability is something you have to deal with.
Yeah.
And something you have to try to help the people around that person deal with. And even that person, like, a mental illness doesn't give that person an out from getting to heaven
Yeah,
or going
absolutely.
to heaven.
Absolutely. Even demon possession. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
look at the way Jesus interacted with demoniacs in scripture.
Yeah, there have been people possessed by demons that go to heaven. So
Absolutely.
yeah, like all of that, like you have to still walk with that person, still pray for that person, and still try to get that person to to heaven. So
It's a really great point. Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this before, but it's the frustration on the person watching. I
yeah,
mean, of course, not to overshadow the suffering that they're
yeah,
going through, but to walk with that person, especially if it's someone close to you, someone you love. You know, in my family, it maybe Providence that you raised this and brought this to me and wanted to talk about it because we're going through something as well with someone close to us, and yeah, it is a long,
yeah,
long, long journey.
yeah,
Um, and man, we've had thoughts at some points because it's just so entrenched
yeah,
and they're very reluctant, resistant to treatment, and it's destroyed relationships
yeah,
and it's just destroyed this person's legacy and
yeah,
the family, and they're just a shell of themselves.
yeah,
And there's thoughts like it's like, God have mercy, like does this at least bring this, it's
to
like
an end.
bring this guy home or something,
Yeah.
put an end to this or something. Because with mental health, there's no like reverse switch many times.
And that's so hard because things like MAID in
Mhm.
Canada have made that
Yeah.
out button
Oh, I hate that.
so
Yeah.
easy.
It's
Like,
horrific. It's
it is
demonic.
it is a eugenics program
Yep.
for the mentally ill.
Yeah.
Like, if your family is looking for an easy fix, they
Yeah.
that is so horrendous, and it
Yeah,
is
it really is.
so heartbreaking
Yeah.
that these people are not getting help. They're just getting an out.
Yeah.
Like, God does not want you to have an out. He wants you to become a saint.
Yeah.
And this is your cross that he has given you.
Yeah.
And our crosses are not
And we-
always gentle.
In our culture, we like to resist that.
Yeah.
I know.
Right. I keep coming back to Mother Teresa as
Yeah.
such an inspiration.
Yeah.
She's like, she's not in the house of dying in Calicut to
No.
help people get better. And she often gets criticized
Yeah.
for that. They're
Yeah.
like, well, what did she do? Dirty needles. It's like, dude, it was India, the back, country of India.
Yeah.
Like there weren't very many, clean hospitals at
Yeah.
the time in early 20th century. And so she's there. It's hospice. It's
Yeah.
end of life care.
Yeah.
And she's just there to watch people die.
Yeah.
And that is so hard. And
Yeah.
it reminds me, I was listening, I don't know if I told you this, but I was listening to a song on the way here, Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the name of the song is What Sarah Said. Do you know
Okay.
the song?
If you sung it to me,
Okay,
probably
so I'd never
you don't have
listened to
sing
the
it.
lyrics. I won't sing it for you, but and so I never listened to lyrics before, but What Sarah Says is the name of the song. But what she says in the song is love is watching someone die.
Yeah. I mean,
And
we're
because it's
all-
like set up in they're in a waiting room and they're like pacing, and he's like, and it smells like piss in 409. It's very dreary.
Yeah.
The nurse comes in with bad news, and he's like, love is watching someone die. And he ends with, who's going to watch you die? And it's just like, man, that love, you
Ooh.
can't fix
I'll have to
what's
listen to
wrong
this.
with your loved one sometime. You just have to be there.
Yeah. The presence.
profound.
Being present. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, sometimes your presence doesn't look pretty. And sometimes you're going to mess up. But it's not the mess up that defines you. It's coming back after
Yep.
you've messed up.
Yeah.
It's the apology. It's continuing to walk with that person, even if they have frustrated you and made you upset and sad and scared, all in like an hour of time.
Yeah.
It's taking a breath, saying some prayers, and walking back in and being present to them in the best way that you can, because
Yeah.
God knows we're not perfect. Like,
Right.
we have our
Right.
own struggles along with this person's struggles, but we're now having to carry some of this person's struggles because maybe they're in denial about what is going on.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't realize that anything's wrong, and you have to carry the burden of what's wrong with them
Yeah.
for them. Like, you are, for all intents and purposes, probably carrying a little bit of their cross along with your own
Yeah.
cross.
Absolutely.
And that's
Yeah.
how community and family work, though.
Yeah.
Like, we're all meant to help each other carry our crosses. Like, nobody's supposed to carry their cross alone.
Yeah. It's important to think here, like what am I hoping to get out of this? Like,
Yeah.
because the natural reaction is, I want healing.
Yeah.
I want this problem fixed.
Yeah.
Like,
Amen.
right?
Yeah. No.
Like, that's a
that is
natural reaction. There's nothing wrong with it. And this is
definitely
even
something
what
I've
people
asked.
brought to Jesus, like,
Yeah.
perform miracles.
Yes.
But what did he do? It's, it's not about the miracle.
Yeah.
It's about God's presence. It's
Yeah.
about God's kingdom.
Fair.
And there's a bigger vision there. Because if I just go and I say, because, there's a whole theodicy and a problem suffering
Yeah.
all tied in here. And it's deep things of God, really. It really is like God working in
Yeah.
ways that we don't understand.
Yeah.
And you're not, no matter who you are, no matter what you believe, you're atheist, anything, you're not going to get out of this life without suffering. You are
No.
going to experience suffering. So it's like, what system best makes sense of that and
Yes.
helps you to walk through it the most? And this idea with medicine is like, and it's a big aversion to death in our culture
Yeah.
and sickness anyway.
It's gonna
And we want to
happen.
just pretend it's not there.
Yeah.
And there's a problem there we can talk about on
Yeah.
commentary and so on. But yeah, the idea I think inherent in that is just, I want to avoid this as much as possible. I don't want this and everything. And I want my life to go well. But real life isn't like that.
No.
So I think it's just, it's most jarring if you thought it was like that and then you come into this experience.
That is such an interesting, because, this whole the argument against God for like the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
argument of suffering is a gotcha against God. Well, the suffering still, you didn't take the suffering away. You just took the
No.
person that was walking with you
That's so
through it
true.
away.
Yep.
Like, God is still present.
Yeah.
Whether or not you want to walk with him through your suffering is your choice.
Yeah. Great point. Yeah. Man, suffering well is such an art.
It is. It really is.
There are people who do it really well. Like, oh man, not to name names because that would reveal who it is that's, going through what. But yeah, the people who suffer well, like saints that you see,
Yeah.
people in your own life, are people who are the most inspiring.
Yeah.
You know,
they
Our
have the
Lady
most
suffered really
peace.
well. The Apostle John at the foot of the cross, he suffered really well through
Yeah.
that.
And it
Man,
wasn't.
it's just not running from it. And
Yeah.
just saying, not that you're embracing it like a masochist or anything,
Yeah.
but it's not like people want this. I think everybody can
No.
agree
I
that
mean,
this is not a great thing,
Yeah.
but embracing it in the sense you're not running from it and you're suffering and offering it up
Yeah.
to
You're not
Christ.
denying it.
Yeah.
You're accepting it.
Yeah.
And like that peace, I think, like people knew that Saint Therese, the little flower, was suffering. People
Yeah.
knew that Saint Faustina was suffering.
Yeah.
It's their embrace of it and their use of it. Like
Mhm.
it, for such a utilitarian country, you would think that we would be able to figure out the use of this, but no.
Yeah.
Those are counterintuitive.
Oh man, it's such a deeper version.
Yeah.
And it's almost inexplicable that it is. But yeah, I mean, I think just maybe such great timing that we're able to talk to this now
Yeah.
because, having been in the hospital over
Yeah.
the weekend and I'm watching this guy next to me on death's door, or at least it seems,
Yeah.
I don't know his medical chart. And it's just, and then my own self, I feel like I'm not supposed to be there because like I can get in and out of my bed without grippy socks, like, and the nurses are like, so strong, like I'm just normal, but like, it's a reminder of human frailty.
Yeah.
And none of us get out of this life alive. None of us get out of this life without any suffering or
Yeah.
pain or anything. So just acceptance of that. Yeah. And just
Yeah.
remembering that what is it that's going to walk through that? Who is it that's going to walk through that? And
Yeah.
and also a reminder that it's Jesus, who is, he suffered for us. Like
Yes.
no other divinity does that.
No.
Is self-sacrificial in that
No.
sense, and then redeems what he sacrificed
Yeah.
for and us. So yeah, so I tell my son this all the time when I want him to do something. I say, well, I would never ask you to do something unless I'm willing to do it myself. At
Yeah.
least willing to do it myself,
Yes.
or have done it myself. And Jesus does the same thing with us.
Yeah. Yeah, that is fair. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I don't,
Good.
that was
Well,
pretty well said.
let's wrap up here.
Okay, yeah.
So this has been just really, really wonderful. Of course, like all this to say, we're not here trying to like fix any problems. Like,
No.
and that's the thing.
You can't, there's no fix. Like,
with mental
we're
health,
just here
with
to
physical
walk
health,
with you.
it's trying to push back the tide of the ocean.
Yeah.
Honestly, these are natural things, and they're going to happen. And that seems almost like really insensitive to say that.
Yeah.
But it's being realist. They
Yeah.
are going to happen, and when it happens to you, know that, so you're not blown away by it. And then whatever, you don't know what's going to happen, but something will happen. And then when it happens to others, like when you hear about your grandma in the hospital, you know, it's like, probably should call her, you know, because I knew that was going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
And just a reminder to be there for others as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll wrap up here.
Yeah.
And I want to just give you last final thoughts if you want to.
I mean, honestly, I wanted to do this to just say, you're not alone. Like, there are lots of struggles that we all have. Mental health is a big one, especially like last few years. It seems like it's only getting quantifiably larger every year. You're not alone. There are people that want to walk with you and want to help you in different ways. Prayer is the biggest way. Like, people always say prayer's the least I can do. No, it's the most you can do. And it seems like the smallest thing, but it has the largest impact. So praying for you and just knowing that there are other people that are going through the same struggles, I think can be really cathartic.
Absolutely. Yeah. As they say, you know, atheists often online will say, you can't pray for me without my consent. No, you can pray. Pray for people without their consent.
I pray for people without their consent all the time.
All the time.
It happens and it works really well.
It's going to happen, man. Yeah, prayer is transformative. It can do wonders. It works lives. It works wonders also in the life of the person doing it.
Yeah.
Man, and talk about like when you're working with things that you can't change, prayer is the most powerful thing because it puts you in the right position with respect to what the truth is, with respect to where peace is.
Even if you can't see a physical change in the person, there is going to be a change of your heart, which if that's all it is, if that's all that it changes is how you respond, that is amazing.
And it helps because by doing that, you're doing right by them.
Yeah.
You're being the most peaceful and understanding and well-suffering person that you can, because by doing that, you might think, well, okay, now I'm just doing that for myself. You're doing it for them too, because you're making it more easy on them, honestly. Because I mean, last thing a person going through anything needs is just like more chaos in their life and more hostility and so on and more blame. Yeah. So yeah, this is really, really good stuff. So thank you so much, Haley, for reaching out about this conversation. This has been really, really delightful. I really appreciate it. So we'll cut it off there. All right. Thanks, guys. See you later. Oh, man.
Wow. Thank you.